all of the T.I. diss tracks to 50 Cent. One was called The Right One, which I got on the screen now. Then we got Lessons, and then I think we got or it was actually a snippet that was called War. We're not gonna talk about that. And then 50 Cent did a response on the Power theme song, which is for Power Book Origins. We'll talk about that one as well. But before, let's get started with The Right One. And also, I got some more breaking news for you that I just saw on the timeline. I'll talk about the NFL and other sports related news. But right now, we're talking about the T.I. diss track, The Right One, going at 50 Cent. So here we go. Oh, and also T.I.'s sons, also, we'll talk about them. His son, Damani, they also made a diss track towards 50 Cent, but we'll get to that in a minute. But we kind of got really big started with in this diss track. Of course, it already is right here. Okay, they finally got the right one. Roll something light one. All right, then we got to force the right. Night comes. I don't like guns. I wake up in the night something and think he Tyson. Nigga, you ain't as tough as my son. I walk up on him nice something, but the smoke you for your fair share. You wouldn't dare stare into the eyes of your dick suckers. You say that itch with your thumbs. You's a big sucker. So basically, he goes into detail where he goes into detail and expresses what he dislikes about him. In this case, where he says, "You take issue with the white boys, but it's your people that you wouldn't find for us to be an eyesore, huh? Dunkin' Smoke, you won't even stand up for his legacy. I guess it's cause he ain't see ish what you see ish that you fight for. Listen, man, this ish ain't gonna blow how you think it is down here. I stripped you out of your ish, leave you where rabbit is. And you ain't the only one that's grimy with your head for the deal. You think you special. You end up somewhere pushing daffodils." So T.I. savagely just breaks down, 50's savagely breaks down 50 Cent's like earlier on career, basically talking about issues and basically he's going in and talking about the issues that he has had with Eminem, relationship that he had with Eminem in that breakdown, saying that you stand up for the white man's legacy, which means you standing up for Eminem, you standing up for people inside the Aftermath and Interscope, the people that you signed to, of course, cutting up a check and deal. Then he said you moved away rapping and they gave you the DMX package. You ain't savage, nigga, you 5-0 dispatcher. Old tender dick ain't mad cause Puff let your have it. So basically, it's been said throughout a period of time that, of course, 50 Cent's woman basically was sleeping with Puff. Allegedly. That's what I've heard. Allegedly. I don't know how true it is. That's why I quote the terms allegedly. So but anyway, that's what I think the lines kind of meant. Well, that's what I think the lines had meant. And then he said, "Give tartar sauce and mustard like a fish sandwich." And goddamn it, this N1 drama, I'm not landing. Once it's up, it's not landing. Truces is outlandish, cause you're not the nigga that you got rich trying to stunt on the white folks ish. You ain't the effing gangster, you just prey on the weak. Man, all you do is talk ish and hope you stay on the net. Play detective, catching killers on some police ish. He basically is going in on how 50 Cent be on all over social media, just straight doing memes, doing like images, mocking other celebrities, just going on social media and just playing these Twitter fingers and playing the DMs on Instagram with your fingers instead of. That's why he says in the chorus, playing with your thumbs, you's a big sucker. Like basically, it's talking about how you just all over the gram and all over the internet, but instead of actually getting back in the booth and actually doing your profession and getting back to rapping. So basically, he's just calling them out and say, "Hey man, you need to get back in the booth and start competing." And a lot of that sense. Playing detective, catching killers on some police ish. Grown man making memes with them weird ass flex. Kicking in while they down, you a sucker for that. Having a moment, hate to have this nigga inch in my life, but I give a ass cause of soft about him mentioning my wife. So yeah, like I said, and as I was going to get to that point before, T.I. is mad, of course, all because 50 Cent on Instagram and Twitter. He's mentioning his sons, he's mentioning his wife, and also mentioning him in a negative connotation, in a negative context. Like he talks about with everyone, like he talks about it with everyone on social media, making all kinds of memes, making all kinds of negative connotation and imagery. And so yeah, T.I.'s pretty much had enough of it. He's fed up with it. You hate women, but I guess it's why you can't keep one. You can't love them cause your mama you receive none. Oh no, you rather set fires to the houses with babies in them. I got paperwork from in prison that your name is in them. Peter Parker journalism. He's saying I guess I'm Venom. Morals won't break or bend them. New Yorkers, you gonna defend them. This your king, huh? He been a victim from the get go. Murder Inc. pumping his ass through the bullet hole, bumping his ass, pumping his ass of bullet holes. Cam did him on the radio. Took losses from Rick Ross and Fat Joe. Remember that? So yeah, T.I. is pretty much addressing, like, of course, if you did not know, 50 Cent and Rick Ross had an ongoing feud in the past. I guess both, like what he said before about a 5 being a 5 dispatcher, and 50 tried to get on Rick Ross for a similar thing. But at the same time, it didn't work in his favor. And then both 50 and Rick Ross got into a fight, got into a scuffle, and as they end up seeing each other and squared up. Yeah, 50 Cent pretty much, Rick Ross just made 50 Cent cry at one point, and then him and Fat Joe, I guess at one point in time in the past, he had made I think Fat Joe had did Lean Back, and he had did a couple of album, I should say, with the Terror Squad. And so 50 was coming out and just pretty much made a whole diss going at Fat Joe, and it did not work in his favor. And then he says Jada spank that baby, and thinking it's sweet. Kanye stood up to him when he made his first week at the feat. So yeah, he's pretty much mentioning about Kanye's album Graduation, and then 50 Cent with Curtis. They both had a whole big competition at one point. I'll see who can sell the most records, sell the most units. And it didn't work in 50's favor again. Kanye just absolutely obliterated him in that sense. And plus, he did a whole bunch of video game, like animated style video game essences in his records on Graduation, and a few tracks, mainly the one track Stronger. And so that's what and then of course that's why he says, and T.I. says made his week a defeat because 50 said there was no way he can compete with that. It always happened. Too much yapping. Nigga slapping your cheeks. So what the F you think is gonna happen here playing with me? You got the right one, King. And so yeah, that's pretty much the end of the record. Yeah, what an absolute savage way of a diss record that T.I. is coming in. He's coming in hard. He's coming in with a lot of anger, coming in with a lot of aggression. I don't really think T.I. studied this. I think T.I. has been in the game way too long enough to know this at the time. And plus him dropping albums and competing with 50 around in the same time, in the same vein as well. Because you got to remember, T.I. was dropping once every other year. Like, he'll drop like, Urban Legend, and then before that, Trap Music, then T.I. versus T.I.P., then, Paper Trail. He was dropping every other year. Like, he was dropping music a lot. So he knew about it. Well, like songs like Whatever You Like and Live Your Life with Rihanna. Like, he was always dropping songs and always dropping albums around a certain point in time. So he definitely was getting at him on that record. So let's go to the track Lessons, which is also produced by Little Caleb and K6WYA. Get to this verse. He says, knowledge is power, but this knowledge gonna cost you. Enjoy the wins. We tend to learn more from the losses. Learn from the losses. When many men leave their chin open, they go in and go in their jaw. When the window shopping at the candy shop, this nigga so soft. I make music that means niggas we ain't the same. A world of difference. Let's begin when I'm the king and you a lame. Still in here rapping cause I just can't look myself in the face. Who you telling him today? Ho, and you fake. He said, belt to ass, nigga. Let this be a lesson. Get on this head get on his head till he get the message. Man, let this let this be a lesson to you. Let this be a lesson to you. No disrespect gonna be tolerated, obligated to check it. They playing favorites. And think I'm gonna nigga disrespect my wife and like that just ain't alright. Think I'm gonna take this itch from you? Listen, you gonna have to come and take my life. Expensive game, this nigga playing. Hope he know the price. And then he goes in crazy on the second verse. Every time I look up, this hoe wanna get into it and beef. I hate bully. Pussy, come and do it to me. He beat on females, and I know details. Could be a free L to hand out, but I know he tell. He juggling Johnson, huh? Must be on DL. I spank that baby. I don't give a F how he feel. You bully everybody, offer no compassion. It's cool. They playing victim like a Karen when it happens to you. I like the fact that T.I. kind of just goes in bravado and just basically calls 50 out about, of course, like I said, goes constantly of disrespecting T.I.'s wife, Tiny, and then, of course, disrespected his sons and bringing family into it, and then also he kind of goes in saying that you juggling Johnson, huh? You must be on DL. Don't give a F how you feel. You bullying everybody. He pretty much is just saying, like, you always want to try to think you can play the victim. You always try to play that victim card, and then you always want to try to play like you didn't start no riffles, like you didn't start no scuffles and wrath. He's pretty much telling 50 about that and pretty much exposed him in that sense. So I'm glad he really is going at him at this point, and it's really, really cool. It's really solid. All right. And then we got the song What Bully. He says, I want pressure, need no mercy, help to bear. Town boat, he dangerous, too sick and head to care. So you make cop deuces, call on truces, they don't want it. Take out my mask and I eat the face of my opponent. I call shots in person, we too rich to telephone. Boy, I remember you. You loady Mac, little homie. Turn special agent, informant, detective. Increase in payment, make your antics more effective. I got your power to devour, and I'll rep your sour, you little boo boo. You know you ain't always been a coward. Ran someone in who wasn't playing, and you ran. Pew, it's up in the struggle. It's up and it's stuck, and that's where you stand. Use the kind of sucker nigga we don't like. What bully everybody, you don't want no problem. The niggas come and bully you and you don't want a problem. And then in the second verse he goes in, says, I ain't got the time to go to prison around here, you messing with you. And all deflecting folks' perspective I expect you to do. To say at least this character is questionable. He'll do the ish and you have to go through when the detective would do. Might go making up some cases just for some posting some ish. It might be a small price to pay for me something exposing it. Let me get this straight. I ain't puff. I ain't walking on you trying to buy you stuff. On IG behind them fences right now, you tough. Get popped and dropped off like the bayou, bruh. And I met punched in the mouth. Aha, you thought police, this is just rap, man. I'm all talk. All right, let's get to his son's record. Damani, his son's record called Miss Jackson. Which I thought was absolutely hilarious that he did that his son did this, that he did this record. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I never meant to. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, aha. Never meant to. Miss Jackson, am I overacting or is this valid? I wanna have a one-on-one convo about the man. You sacrificed your life for the so the world could see his talent. He a legend now. I guess it worked out, but I need some answers. Are you happy with the way you've been holding your family name? I need to know because I can't sleep at night thinking you died in vain. And I think it got to him. People won't tell because he pay him. The emperor's new clothes, a tale we need to tell, fell too many times. From shells to either jail, cats got 9 lives. One more ring the bell, and I don't want to do it. The reason I came to you is I hope you can talk to me through it. Maybe it's something that you can do, that you can tell me, bring some understanding. It's more level-headed than the people heading to his mansion. I hope he knows it's time sensitive. And I think he really was a little confused, but I won't mention it. Pardon me if I'm digging and hate to have you relieving it. He's supposed to be resting, just a few questions. Do you whisper in his ear before he makes his decisions? Can you hear the past the nervous laugh he'll do when he's timid? All is really half the talent. He took the basket and them gimmicks, led to actual business. He used to be something. We thought it was a joke, but now he's seeing there's something off with him. I offered him a chance to reunite with you, but I'll do it. There's nothing left to do. I'll send it to you, Miss Jackson. Hey, Curtis, I encourage you to do a little research on my whole family, but you can start with me first. I know you're not familiar with a mother or father, but maybe that's the reason you'll talk about it. Maybe that's the reason you'll be targeting the women. Let somebody try your mama. Maybe you'll probably be want to kill her. Speaking of killing, Curtis, I thought you was a firebug. That's pretty good. Well, I'm gonna be the reason all of your fans put their lighters up. Put your lighters up and you be dealt with abuse. Put your lighters up if you no longer enthused. With a nigga running around profiting off your pain, profiting off our pain. Love it when we fall down. That's when Curtis gets paid. Now you put up your lighters, and if you want the truth, many men sin, and if you don't profit like it from it, and you don't even drink, you'll fake it for the news coverage. It seems like you know 50 Cent more than you, Curtis. Goddamn. Huh. I think he went too far to stop now. I got a little more information that you can jot down. Firebug. I can smell the gasoline on you. Firebug. Ain't at least let him sleep before you can cremate him. Firebug. Ironic, you're not as what you want to be. Firebug. I'm the one delivering your eulogy. Firebug. Don't let him put his lighter up. The next time you miss a mama, I can send you right to her. Try your luck. Wow. I mean, his son was going in. Absolutely going in, man. What a savage track right there. And that's his son doing this to you. That just lets you know the talent just runs deep. And family, because I didn't even know nothing much about his son rapping, but man, that was pretty good. That was pretty cool. And the fact that he was able to do that in such a savage way. And I also like the imagery too. The imagery that they use, that he used pretty much was like a fire in a burning building. A fire in a burning house. Right next to like a river, like to a pool, and next to a river lake and a swimming pool and a pond in the backyard. And I thought that was pretty good. And I also like T.I.'s imagery in that What Bully. I thought that was pretty good as well. But 50 Cent also made a response. Now let's see. Let's see that. Hold on, give me that real quick. Because he also dropped a new record. I want to see if that's on here or not. I guess, hold on. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't find it on Genius, y'all, so I'm gonna just go with Billboard on this. So, anyways, 50 Cent fired back at T.I. with the song "Tell Us." No one told us who you are, and it's no one told us what we're here for, featuring Leon Thomas. He appears to have a few bars at T.I. and his wife Tiny Harris, while also speaking to their children, where he says, "I'm back on my dope boy grammar. Your daddy made your mama eat every box in Atlanta. Freak-ish, peep-ish, keeps on the low, but everybody know." He raps with a reference to the sexual assault allegations Tip and Tiny face. The feud doesn't also appear to be anywhere close to over just yet. Fans gave 50 kudos for responding, even though the theme song for one of his shows rather than a traditional diss track, which could be proved to be a shrewd business move. Because most men write a diss get a reaction. 50 composed a theme to get a residual. One fan wrote, "He is making you listen to his victory. Every time you press play, it is not just a song, it is a tax on T.I.'s sanity that collects interest every episode." However, T.I. doesn't look to be too worried about 50 Cent's response, as he dared the G-Unit mogul to reply by taunting him on Instagram. "Drop whatever you choose. Please keep showing the world you out. On Clay, you still ain't ish. Why you in the 4K pulling with the smile of a sissy?" Before 50 dropped nowhere, told us the trap pioneer wrote in a separate IG post, "We can go bar for bar, hit for hit, or doc for doc. Either way, all you're gonna do is show how much of an F you is. Let us play. Nobody fears you over here." And T.I. 50 Cent beef became a family affair with Tip's kids Domani and King Harris unleashed their explosive disses against Fifth. King unleashed another diss track on Friday, March the 6th, targeting the Queen's icon titled "Drop Top." T.I. and 50's feud was reignited while the Atlanta rapper blasted the In the Club rapper for ducking him in the versus battle, and 50 trolled Tip and his family members on social media, which raised tensions, and T.I. headed to the booth to respond with 4 diss tracks. So yeah, my thoughts about this. Well, I guess 50 Cent finally took time to respond after, I don't know how, but it's not in a traditional diss track form, more or less in a theme song, of course, for the Power soundtrack or Origins. It's gonna be up there for that, but I think T.I. still, to me, has got him on this one, and I think his son Damani pretty much got him on that one. I think they pretty much have gotten all the way through. They pretty much savagely and brutally obliterate him and destroy him, and it's pretty much made it into a point where I don't know if 50 can try to come back from this. And if he does come back from this, he got to really fire a blazing and really get it going, man. He really need to get it going and really need to get inspired to really do something. So that'd be the thing I would say for 50 he needs to go with, is to really, really respond with a way where he's concentrated, he's focused, and he's well tactical and real calculated. Because T.I. is definitely calculated, and he definitely exposed a lot in his career that really is it's hard to come by. So those just my thoughts right now. In the up and coming time. But I want to get to this news real quick in the NFL, because this was crazy. So the Las Vegas Raiders have traded Maxx Crosby to the Baltimore Ravens, according to Adam Schefter. For weeks, it was rumors that swirled around Las Vegas Raiders edge rusher Maxx Crosby trade market. Many teams flickered in and out of contention: the Cowboys, Eagles, the Bears, the Lions, the Patriots. But none of them could get it done. all were priced out by one team that would never ever overpay in the NFL trade market. The one team that would never send first round picks for a non-quarterback, the Baltimore Ravens. Excuse me. Here they are, uncharted waters. Crosby is the first veteran player that the Ravens have even traded a first round pick to get, even though they thought he was so nice, they did it twice. Adam Schefter reports that the Ravens, Baltimore, has traded its 2026 and 27 first round selections to the Raiders for Crosby for what is a big splash of the 2026 offseason. As with all the trades and including multiple first round picks, this is probably a bad idea. It's always said to draft and develop young, cost controlled talent. That is the long term view. Is sober and wise. At this exact moment, I did not care for. This is according to him. I think it's incredibly fun that a player, Crosby's specific skill, has landed on a team like the Ravens, who so desperately needed a jolt to get over the AFC hump, a playoff hump, and appear in the Super Bowl. Crosby is truly an elite player at his premium position, and his presence on the Ravens defense vaults the team from middle of the crowded AFC playoff picture now to the front of the line on the line. I don't think there's a team in football that needed Crosby more than the Ravens. They had 30 sacks last season, which is tied for the Cardinals and Panthers for the third fewest in the league. Their 29.9% pass rush win rate was ranked 5th worst. It has been hard for Baltimore to find a good edge rusher and spent a 4th round pick on an outside rusher in each of the past 5 drafts. Mike Green, 2025, Adisa Isaac, 2024, Tavius Robinson, David Ajobo, 2022, and Odafe Owe in 2021. The best season that has gotten out of the group was a 10-sack campaign Owe gave it in 2024. But 1 year later, the Ravens flipped into the Chargers at the trade deadline. Veterans such as Jadeveon Clowney, 9.5 sacks in 2023, and Kyle Van Noy, 12.5 sacks in 2024, have held the roles, but the Ravens have not rostered a field-tipping edge rusher since Terrell Suggs back in 2017. And of course, there were also issues in the old coaching staff, with Jesse Mitters, of course, replacing John Harbaugh. And per NFL Text Gen stats, the Chargers were that's talking about Mike McDonald with the Seahawks, who's a branch off of Mike McDonald's schematic tree, who used 4th of the two high coverages in the NFL. And the Chargers offensive coordinator last season, per NFL Next Gen stats, Donald Seahawks was ranked behind in the 5th, and the Chargers were also 4th in light box coverage against the run. 44.7% of Miners' defense does not stack numbers near the line scrimmage to defend the ground game. So how does he pull it off? By asking the defensive lineman to make multiple gaps. This was part of the magic of McDonald during the Seahawks Super Bowl run after signing DeMarcus Lawrence in free agency. McDonald had an elite run defender at the defensive end. Lawrence could knife into interior gaps and pursue interior runs, and he could step down, unlock, and disrupt pullers and destroy timing. And he could also simply put his hands on a tackle's chest and control him across the line of scrimmage. Crosby's long and ridiculously strong, his tremendous instinct for his running game, and his under-reliable drawn, drag-down tackler and gap of making plays. Even though he's still getting blocked, a supercut of Crosby's best run defensive gaps will look like this from November against the Cleveland Browns. And this is Maxx Crosby's stats over his career. The games he's played, the pass rushes, the pressures, and the pressure rate. It's went up every single year he's been in the league, except for last year, which that was probably one of his was probably his second weakest year. But But here, my thoughts is straight up and simple in form. Now, his pressure rate and his pass rushes have pretty much gone up every year, and his pressure rate has just gone up every single year besides last season. Maxx Crosby adds a lot to the defensive load, and I think the scheme is going to fit well with Jesse Minters, and I think it's going to help out moving forward. Oh, hey Harrison, hey, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming in. So as I was saying, I think that the Ravens have a really good opportunity. They really made a big bold swing and a bold move to really go out and get Maxx Crosby to help out on the other defensive line and the defensive end, and it's going to help the run gaps, the run penetrations, because Maxx Crosby is really good. His hands are really getting after the passer, but also is really good and well sound and well disciplined. So it's not going to be any big run plays and big run gaps, especially with him there. And I think this really helps them out better moving forward because they needed somebody with that. And as the stats is proven to be residual, they've been ranked as far as the third fewest in total sacks, next to two of the worst teams in the NFL. Because that just proves to me that the Ravens had not improved in getting after the passer, and they spent the last 5 years getting guys like Tavius Johnson, Dafe Owe, Mike Green, all these different players, and none of them have panned out to be to the point where they actually have helped out and put the team and onus on them and behind them. So that's the thing that I will say is a concern if I'm anybody else on that roster. So I like the move that the Ravens did. I think they need to get some more other pieces. They need to get a better secondary. They need to go look at other things as well. But this is a step in the right direction for them moving forward because they really need it. So tell me what you guys think down in the comment section down below about this move. I'll be getting out of here, guys. Thank you all for watching, liking, and sharing and subscribing. I am out. Peace.